My name is Derek, or at least this was me when I was 3.5 years old. You see, I was a shy, scared, confused little boy who grew up in a wonderful world, with great parents, great friends, and a community full of opportunities and potential. But deep down, a dark, conflicting problem was developing at my core. It was an identity crisis. Racially, I didn't know who I was or what I was supposed to be. For my entire life, I grew up with this feeling that I didn't fit in with any specific group or ethnicity. I used to always hear about my friends talking about their culture and traditions that had been passed down in their family. They always had this concept of a home that I could never understand. They would say, "I can't wait to go back home to the Philippines this summer," or "I'm going to go visit my aunts and uncles in India." Which is totally awesome. I feel like this is what makes places like Toronto great. A diverse melting pot of cultures all living together in one city. But how come there was no home for me? You see, I grew up as a Japanese, Austrian, Italian, Canadian, which does sound kind of cool to have this unique mix of races all molded into one person. However, I've always felt that I was out of place in this world. I went through life with no self-identity of who I was or where I came from. I didn't have a specific culture or community that I belonged to. The only other person like me was my younger brother, and that's it. He was the only one. At least we had each other. But that can only last so long. The world is meant to be experienced, friends are meant to be made, and your family will be a huge part of that, but they can't be the only part. As a young man who ages through adolescence, there is this inherent need to find your tribe of people, to find the people who are like you, who share similar interests and, more importantly, friendships. But I couldn't find anyone like that. I didn't have any religious, spiritual, or political beliefs. There were no holidays or traditions that were special to me, and I finally came to the conclusion that I was culturally invisible. So what does a 14-year-old boy do with no identity and place in the world? I tried to adapt. I tried to fit in. Eventually, I became ethnically ambiguous, and it was beautiful. I made friends with all kinds of people from various backgrounds, cultures, and religions. I learned the importance of family and homemade meals. I discovered my first true passion in life, which was basketball. And despite my appearance, I was accepted by everybody. I was embraced as the mixed kid. But was that how I saw myself? When I truly glimpsed into the mirror, what did I see? Was it Asian? Was it European? Was it Canadian? Or was it just a look of a lost, confused little boy? I didn't have a home country to go back to. I didn't have a type of food or cuisine that was unique to my background. And I didn't have a family history that I understood. There was nothing but an identity crisis that wasn't getting any better. But I did learn so much from other people's cultures and traditions, that maybe I didn't have to find one specific group or box to fall into. Maybe this identity crisis that I was going through was a lot more complex. Eventually, I came to the conclusion that I did have a home. I did have an identity, but that was a journey for me to discover and not for other people to decide. This was a difficult answer to admit, as it was the answer that provided no answers, only questions, which made me feel scared. But I think if you are a mixed or biracial person like me who is struggling with their identity, know that there are lots of people in the world like us. So regardless of where you are in life or how you feel at this very moment, don't let other people's opinions drag you down. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of where your parents came from. And live your life with a heart that is free of hate. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want to be happy. We want to be safe. And we want to be loved. And that is what I want. To be proud, to be free, and to have an identity that is true to me. Thanks for watching.